in the world did I make it through college without leggings? Hey everyone, I'm Donna and you're watching Wanted Adventure Living Abroad. The clothing that I wear has changed, I would say in some ways quite dramatically, since moving to Germany, but one of the big reasons for that change is because I lived in South Florida in the US, so I wore a lot of t-shirts, tank tops, tube tops, and t-shirt, tank top, and tube top dresses there. And here in Germany, I wear a lot of long sleeve shirts, sweaters, and the biggest, warmest jackets available. But there are other ways that my style has changed that don't have so much to do with the temperature difference or even the fact that clothing style has changed over the past 9 years, but rather these changes have a lot to do with the influence that living in Germany has had on my style. For one, as I mentioned in the video on useless things that I brought to Europe and basically never needed. In the US, I used to wear high heels quite often. If I was going out for the evening, going to a nice restaurant, celebrating something, there's a good chance that I was probably gonna wear a pair of heels. I moved to Europe, brought some of the heels with me, and wore them a grand total of not very many times. In the US, I basically drove everywhere, but now here in Germany, I'm walking or trying to balance on the U-Bahn, not tip over. There are cobblestone streets, which I have enough problems trying to walk on with flat shoes. So yeah, I pretty much don't wear heels anymore, just about ever. And my feet definitely thank me for it. And in the US, if I wasn't wearing heels, I was probably wearing running shoes like this, or maybe some nicer flats, a little bit fancier flats like this. Whereas now I love shoes like this. These little low top casual sneaker shoes. I love them so much. The kinds of pants that I wear has also changed. In the US, pants that get a little wider at the bottom are pretty common. I know that I haven't lived in the US for around 9 years, but the last time I was back, I made a point to look at people's pants. And while, yes, I did notice more skinny pants than when I left the country 9 years ago, I still saw a lot of people in the US wearing pants that got slightly wider at the bottom. Not just jeans, but also dress pants. So yeah, in the US, all of my pants were like that. They came out wider at the bottom. Whereas in Europe, now I almost exclusively wear skinny jeans and skinny pants. They all come in tight at the bottom. And I also started wearing pants of different colors. I don't know if this fad swept through the USA too. Whenever I went back to the US, I never noticed anyone wearing colorful pants. And when I lived there, I certainly didn't notice anyone wearing red pants or green pants. But in Germany, they were. Also guys, so everyone was wearing colorful pants, and so I took that on as well, and I started wearing red pants and green pants and blue pants and all different colors of pants. Another big way that my fashion has changed, and yeah, this one does have to do with the weather, but it's such a huge part of my look now, so I want to mention it anyway. Wearing scarves. When I bought my plane ticket to move to Europe 9 years ago, I owned one single scarf. And after my goodbye party in Florida, I owned 3 scarves because one of my friends gave me these 2 scarves as a going away present. So then I owned 3. I moved to Europe with 3 scarves. And now I have so many scarves. This is just a tiny look at my scarves. I have so many scarves that I have trouble figuring out how to organize them all. So if anyone has a clever way of organizing their scarves, please let me know down in the comments. That would be much appreciated by me and Mr. German Man. We don't know what to do with all my scarves. Thank you. And also, the funny thing about scarves is that I've made a few videos wearing one, and then I've seen people commenting in the comments about how they love how I tied the scarf, and I'm honestly so flattered because when I first moved to Germany, I remember Mr. German Man had to help me tie my scarves because I always made it look like a mess. I had no idea what I was doing. I could just wrap them around my neck a million times. And that was it. That was my only move. Just keep wrapping. And over time, I just kind of found my own way of tying them, but it definitely was not something that came naturally to me. Another addition to my clothing lineup that did not exist in my wardrobe in Florida, leggings. Oh, now I love leggings. I wear them so much. In Florida, my go-to was jeans, but now it is definitely leggings. I wear them all the time, and I don't know how I ever lived without them. They would have been great in college. Leggings. And lastly, the kind of bras that I wear has changed as well. In the US, or at least in South Florida, I grew up feeling like everything in the world around me, TV, ads, billboards, and so much more, it was always telling me, it was screaming in my face, bigger boobs are better. And so in Florida, I wore a lot of push-up bras, and they gave me that look that I wanted, or the look that I felt like I was being told I needed to have, but they were so uncomfortable. And not right away, but after living in Germany for a little while, I grew to feel more comfortable about not wearing push-up bras. The whole, your boobs have to be as big as possible sentiment didn't seem to be pushed in my face so much from all angles here in Germany. At least to me, it felt like in Germany, it was more like, you are who you are. Big boobs, small boobs, whatever, you are who you are, and that's okay. At least that's the feeling that I've gotten here in Germany. So my question for you is, how have your clothes changed over the years? And have you ever experienced a change in wardrobe after moving to a new place? Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy these videos, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Thank you. And also a really big thank you so much to our patrons on Patreon who help make these videos possible. Thank you so much for your support. If you would like to check out our Patreon page, you can find a link to that down in the description box below. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen. So in Florida, I wore a lot of, and these don't really even technically count as two, I think, because you have to put them together to get any warmth out of them. How did I make it through?